So I said to her, "Lady, I don't know where your dog is." Hey, we are live. And hello and welcome to the Fridays on Excellence show, where we dig into 6 areas of life and see what we can find to become more excellent. My name is Scott Kokenauer. I'm your host, and I'm so glad that you've taken time out to tune in. Let's dive right into our first segment of the show, the 3 questions. So, our first question of the 3 questions is, how do you stay fit? In other words, you would ask yourself, how do I stay fit? How do you stay fit? The second one is, what did you eat today? What did you eat today? The third, how much water have you drunk? Those of you who consider yourselves English majors and want to argue with me whether it's drunk or drank, I looked it up. The internet has all the truth, and it said that it's a past participle. So, how much water have you drunk? If you disagree with me, send me an email, coach at Serving Strong. I love to argue. Not really. But those are your 3 questions. Their power is in how you keep them in front of your mind all week long. I encourage you to write them down and keep them visible. Think about them every day. After all, it always comes down to the walk. That message was for the dreamers in the audience, those of you who like to dream about things but never get anything done. Seriously, take those 3 questions, write them on a Post-it note, and stick it on your screen. So the next time you're in one of those crazy Zoom meetings, you can ask yourself, be thinking about living more healthy. Those are your 3 questions. Let's get right into the next segment of the show, which is the 2 pillars of excellence. Now, joining me today to help me with these 2 pillars is Sean Lord. If you remember his name, it's because Sean was a guest on the exclusive interview series of The Art of Excellence. I encourage you to go back and listen to that on your favorite podcast platform, or you can visit Serving Strong YouTube channel for the exclusive interview playlist. Now, Sean he's a drummer. He's been a drummer in the Marine Corps, married 10 years, father of 2 kids. 1 kid is running around the house somewhere there. But we are glad that you joined us. Welcome to the Fridays on Excellence, Sean.
Thanks, Scott. It's great to be here. And my daughter is running around the house. My wife is home as well, so she's not unattended. Just didn't scare anybody.
All right. So what the folks don't know, and I'm going to just lay it all out there. We got to this point when I finally realized we hadn't gone live. Yeah. So that's something vocational that I need to work on. So always working on excellence. That's why if you look at the bottom of the screen, it says becoming the fullest expression of our unique God-given design. That is not without mistakes. Becoming. It's not being the fullest expression. It's becoming. We are never going to reach full fulfillment. Well, Sean may, but I'm not. And I've proven that today. So with that, let's go to the first pillar. The first pillar is start with the basics.
That's right.
So talk to me about that. What do you mean by basics?
There are some pretty basic things that every single one of us need to do in order to be healthy, to feel healthy. And that's what I consider the basics, right? When I was in boot camp, the drill instructors used to always make this joke if we were yawning, if we were tired, that we needed to drink more water. And I always thought back in my mind, no, I need to sleep more. But in my years as a personal trainer, as a Marine, what I discovered is most of the time we feel tired because we're not drinking enough water. And I kind of chuckled when you posted your last question, because how much water we drink has a direct reflection on how we feel. And one of the biggest conversations I have with people is, well, I'm tired, I need more coffee. Now you probably need more water. Most doctors will tell you is you need to drink half your body weight in ounces of water. And actually keep this hydro jug with me. I drink.
Wait. Half your body weight?
Half your body weight is what most doctors have told me. So I weigh 175 pounds roughly.
Okay.
Be drinking about 95 ounces of water, a base minimum every day.
I'm going to be like, I'll probably have to start posting these podcasts in the bathroom. That's a huge, it's a good thing, but I'm a coffee drinker.
Yeah.
And that's something I've got to work on.
Well, I love coffee too. And the The thing I've learned about coffee, though, is so the starting baseline for me is 95 ounces a day, right?
Mhm.
For every cup of coffee I drink, I need to add 2 additional cups, 8-ounce cups of water to my baseline of 95 ounces.
Mhm.
So I'm still drinking coffee every day. I'm about 2 cups a day, but I'm adding that additional water on top because the basics of drinking water, making sure I have enough to fuel my body.
Wonder if you can get a catheter on Amazon. Anyway, okay, so that's a basic water, right?
Yes, yes, and right alongside that, vitamins. Right, you've probably heard your doctor talk about it. Uh, for me, I take vitamin supplements, but the one that has been key for me, and if you're looking at increasing your vitamin intake or working on physical fitness, obviously start with your doctor. They know more than I would. But
Right.
what has really worked for me is vitamin B intake. What I
Hmm.
learned as a personal trainer is even drinking coffee or processing any energy in your body inside the cells of our body. In order to process energy, we need both water and we need vitamin B. And those are necessities in the chemical reaction to produce energy. So if you're feeling tired or you're trying to really start this foundation of physical fitness, water and vitamin B are going to be key essentials to moving forward in that, feeling happy and healthy.
Already I feel like I'm in control. I feel like a locus of control in my physical, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a host of the show and we're talking about physical. I really am. That frees me up. Now I know water, vitamin B.
That's right.
These are things I can do.
That's right.
That's good.
And the third thing that you can really be in control of is your cardiovascular exercise, right? You don't
Mhm.
need to get out every day and sprint on the track, but how often are you walking? How often are you maybe riding a bike or doing low intensity cardio? Because the one thing I think most people miss is your heart is beating 100% of the time, whether you're sleeping, eating, you're stressed out, you're happy, your
Mm.
heart rate is constantly moving.
Right.
And you may not use your biceps or your legs for everything that you do, but you always use your heart. And that's the one thing you want to keep healthy at all times.
Wow. That's a good perspective. So we've got three. Are there any more, or is that
No, that's
okay?
that's the root of where we start.
Okay. The other thing about Sean is he works with lifechurch.tv. And so it makes sense to have three, 3 points to a good message, right?
That's right.
So water, vitamin B, cardiovascular,
That's correct.
cardio, and the basic disclaimer here is check with your doctor because every one of us is different with unique situations, and we certainly don't want to tell you what to do
That's
from a
right.
medical perspective.
That's right.
All right. All right, good. That's pillar one. Let's go to pillar two. And I'm putting it up on the screen. Those of you who are listening on the podcast, I have the word discipline and then an arrow toward consistency and another arrow toward the word health. Discipline, consistency, health. Sean, walk us through this.
Yeah, I love Jocko Willink, and his podcast is amazing. If you've never listened to him and you want to be motivated, check out his podcast or any of his books. But he talked about the difference between discipline and motivation at one point, and he challenged to stop counting on our motivation because it will fail and start counting on discipline. And as I really started to unpack that, what I realized is discipline comes through consistency, and discipline leads to consistency.
Oh,
I could be motivated to get up early in the morning. I could be motivated to go to the gym, but nothing comes of that until I make it consistent. And when I do, it's become a discipline in my life.
mhm.
So I truly think discipline leads to consistency, but they kind of work together, if that makes sense.
What's the difference between motivation and discipline?
Motivation is the desire to do something
Mhm.
and the heart push to want to do it, but discipline is the action of actually taking steps.
It always comes down to the walk.
Right.
That's a little message for the dreamers. That's that's great. That's great. Okay, so we're disciplined, we're consistent, which leads to a healthy body, right?
Yes, sir. So one of those key things I also learned as a personal trainer and as a Marine in general is that our brain has a process of deciding what's most important for us. And if we only do something once a week, once every 7 days, our brain never gets to the point of prioritizing it, right? What do we do every day? We eat, we sleep, and our brain prioritizes those things because we need them. But if I only get out and try to run or go to the gym one time a week, I'm never going to get better. It's never going to become a part of my routine.
Mhm.
In order to create a routine or a healthy habit, as most would call it, we have to do things consistently. And many would argue that 21 times is the magic number. And there's been a couple of different numbers that have come around.
Right.
But the goal of that is to do something consistently multiple times so that our body makes it a priority. So for me, the one thing I get the most comments about is I get up at 4 a.m. every day of the week, minus Saturday. It's my one sleep in day. Because I consistently train my body to be up at the same time, because that's when I get time to study, to spend time with the Lord, but also to go to the gym. And I don't feel centered if I don't get up at 4 a.m. I don't do my daily reading, and I don't get to do my typical workout routine because it's consistent.
Right.
That has led me to the healthy lifestyle I get to live.
And there are the personality, depending on your personality, there will be some who creating that consistency might be a little more difficult than others. I'm very routine oriented. In fact, when I'm out of my routine, that's when things start to fall apart. So I operate in routine. Not everybody's like that. And so they need to work hard at that. For the person who finds it hard to be consistent, do you have any advice?
There's a couple of things. I would challenge that you probably already schedule what's important to you, right? You've got to pay your rent, your mortgage. You've got water bill, power bill. I don't meet many people that are still waiting for that to come in the mail and then paying it. Most of us have some sort of system set up to pay those things. And the same thing applies to our physical fitness, right? If it's important to us, we'll find time to schedule it. And the biggest pushback I get on that is, well, by the end of the day, I'm tired. I want to spend time with my family. But if we're not prioritizing the time to take care of ourselves, and especially our heart, like I mentioned before, the one thing that is constantly moving and working, in the end, we're not investing in ourselves, and we're going to lose that time in the long run.
Right.
And one of the things I have led many people to do is plan the day before for what you're going to do tomorrow. For me, I go to the gym every morning at between 5:30 and 5:45. And it's hard to get up at 4 a.m. when I'm tired or it's been a long day. So the night before, I have to put out my clothes for the gym. I set my alarm and put my phone across the room so that my only option is to get out of bed. I have my water and everything I need for that morning already set out. So when I get up in the morning, I have no excuse, and the routine has already been created for me. So all I have to do is make the simple choice of physically getting out of bed, and everything else has been planned out.
Right. That's great. Good advice. Excellent advice. So we have a couple of comments, and one of those is Travis Keller, who said, the need to continually relieve yourself from adequate water consumption lasts for about 1 week, and then your body adjusts. Again, I feel like I'm in total control now. Honestly, that's been one of the challenges of adding a lot of water intake. And that's good to know. Travis, you've motivated me to really get serious about this water intake stuff. That's cool. Thank you for joining it. And by the way, if you're listening to this and you're on Facebook, send a live message, and if we have time, we'll jump in here and talk, because it's all about the more you engage, the more likely you are to do something to become more excellent, which is becoming the fullest expression of your unique God-given design.
That's right.
All right. Oh, okay. So let's go back. The first pillar was start with the basics. Water. Let's see if I can remember these. Water, vitamin B, and cardiovascular exercise.
Right.
Assuming there's no doctor's restrictions.
Right.
Discipline, not motivation. Don't go with whether you feel like doing it, but create a discipline that is consistent. And that consistency is the key word to a healthy life. That's great. You want to hang on? We'll move on to the third and final segment of the show, the takeaway. All right. So our takeaway today is very simply, do one thing every day for the next 7 days to promote better health. That's it. Do one thing for 7 days. 7 days. That means you're going to have 7 things done by this time next week that promotes better health. Choose whatever you want. Try the water thing. Try the vitamin B. Go out there and get your vitamin B and start taking one a day. I'm assuming you take vitamin D daily, right?
That's right. Depending on where you get it from or how you're taking it, it could be once a year.
How big it is. Yeah. If you get one of those huge once a year, it's just stuff it in there. But yeah, that's our takeaway. And hey, that's our show too, by the way. I'm really, Sean, you really seem to take this thing seriously, uh, your health.
I do, and I love the takeaway for this week because I remember reading a book on cardiovascular health one time, and it talked about by doing 30 minutes of cardiovascular exercise every day, you reduce your chance of heart attack that day by 50%. And it's huge knowing that one simple step could save your life.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll have 2 bottles of water. I'll have my mouth full of vitamin B, and I'm going to walk down the road for a mile. Just picture that in your mind. All right. Oh, thank you so much again for taking time out of your busy schedule to share with us. This has been another episode of the Fridays on Excellence show, where we dig into 6 areas of life and see what we can find to become more excellent. I'm Scott Kokenauer, and I'm glad you've taken time out to tune in. I'll see you next week.